Welcome back to the Grumpy Toad channel. My name's Kev, and I've got a lot of work to do in this one. If you watched my last video, you'd know why. If not, I'll bring you up to speed. Where I'm at right now is in northwestern Michigan, and it's zoned resort residential because Lake Michigan is right over my shoulder, about 1.5 miles that way. It's gorgeous, but that makes this a resort area, and the rule here is that you're not allowed to use the land unless you have a house on it first, and I do not have a house here. What I do have is a shed and a lean-to with a quad under it. I've got a sawmill in this pile of logs. I've got a campsite and a nice little cinder block storage dug into the hillside for that campsite. And all of it's got to go because I don't have a house here. And I got a lot of comments in the last video, which I appreciate. I'd love to see more comments in this one, but most of them said, turn that shed into a tiny house, which sounds like a great idea, but it doesn't meet the square footage requirements. So I'm certainly not going to do that. My wife and I are actually in the process of starting a house on the piece of property where I'm going to move all these things to. I think the best place to start is over there in the campsite. We'll start getting that taken care of, and then we'll just work our way this way because I don't really know how I'm going to get that shed out of here. I think that I can get all these things off the property though within that 30-day window, and if that's the case, then I'm going to leave the mill here long enough to get through this pile of logs. I think that's going to be a choice that I make. But for now, let's get over to that campsite. Let's start working. So here we are at the campsite. There's that picnic table that isn't finished yet, and these burning bushes here, and you can see that these 3 are different than those 4, and that's because they were planted at a different time, and those were planted there to cut off this little 2-track parking area that I have. And now unfortunately all of this has to go, including my little dugout hillside storage that I've been working on so diligently. You've heard me reference it in the past as a top secret project. I've made pretty good progress on it. It's come a long way. I'm not going to go down there right now. You'll get to see me destroy that. That'll be wonderful and fun. But in order to get in here and access all those things, these 3 burning bushes are going to go as well. I didn't set my parking brake. Next, got to get that picnic table out of here, which I've been having some trouble with. This board in particular was spalted, and it definitely, the fungus came back to life. Spalting is cool, but make sure you're using it on an indoor application. This didn't get finished because right after I got it assembled is when I got into this whole debacle with the township. So I've got a picnic table video coming out. I think I'm going to title it How Not to Build a Picnic Table. Here's that hillside storage I was talking about. So I dug this all out by hand, and I walked all of those blocks down the same path that I just walked down. Every bag of concrete for the footings, to pour the cores, and then this of course is concrete up, over, and back down, and to pour the floor. All of those were 80-pound bags brought in by hand, and I suffered greatly for it. And then this rock wall that I have coming down, it's like a stone retaining wall. It was going to just look phenomenal. It was going to be like a waterfall of boulders that just cradled this thing into the hillside. It's not finished, of course, but maybe you can see what it would have looked like. I'm gonna pull all these rocks out of here. I'm not gonna let those go to waste. But had the floor drain in it here. I moved all this stuff out of the way. There you can see a little 1.5-inch pipe, and that was just gonna be a little hand wash basin that comes into this floor drain, which just came out here. I'll make sure I get that covered too before I go, but here's a quick glimpse of it. Time to check back in on illegal structure number 2. I got the top unburied. I peeled off that ice and water shield that I had on there and exposed it. I dug out around the back so the jackhammer man can get at it. I got a guy that's supposed to be here in about a half an hour with an excavator that has a hydraulic hammer on it. You can see I started to do some of the demolition to make it easier on him. I smashed the fascia off. I cut the header that was here. I made a cut there, made a cut there, and then I was able to smash it out with the sledgehammer. I had blocking in here. I cut that blocking. I cut that blocking. I was able to smash that out with a hammer, and then you can see I made a terrible cut with a chainsaw. That was a super dangerous one to make. But I just wanted to get a seam down that wood, because I don't know if you've ever tried to tear apart something made out of wood, but it's very soft and flexible. You know, it's like trying to smash a trampoline. I also came in and I made a cut at the back of the timbers. Cut, cut, cut. So I'm hoping that with that and with this cut, this plunge cut that I made with the chainsaw, I've weakened that wood structure enough that he's going to be able to smash it down. I hit it once with the sledge and it looks like it'll come apart all right. Let's take a walk back into the area formerly known as a campsite and see the destruction. Well, you won't see the destruction. The destruction is done and gone. And I brought in 10 yards of a clay-based gravel and dumped it on that spot. And then I brought in at least the same amount of wood chips. Here we are on the lower edge. And look at that beautiful hillside. I'm gassed out. It's actually Labor Day weekend, so I need to relax a little bit before we get back to work. And then on another day I'll get these rocks out of here. I still got to get those rocks out of there and that grill and that workstation, but I've had enough for today. I'm worn out. I've had my fill, but that's a huge weight off my shoulders to have that done. Not that I'm happy to have it done, but that was a big concern for the township because it was a very permanent structure. I don't know, I guess permanent is figurative. With the right equipment, nothing's permanent, right? But it didn't have wheels, didn't have a hitch, so it's permanent. Anyway, I'm out of here for the day. I'm gonna get my machine loaded up and then we'll be on to the next task. On to the next phase. So I've picked up some 1-inch solid stock steel to act as a winch point. This is the most simple solution I could come up with. This shed is mounted on 3 skids as part of the floor system. They're right here, you might not be able to see them, but it's 4 2x8s, and there's 3 sets of them. And so I can bore a 1-inch hole through each of the 3 skids and drive that solid 1-inch rod all the way through all 3, and then I can throw a strap around the bar at that center skid, and it should help to spread the load across all 3, because I don't want to just tug on one skid, even though on top of the skids and the 2x4 floor joists is 3/4 inch plywood, which is glued and screwed. So that's a heck of a gusset all the way across. But even still, I would prefer to have a bar that goes through all 3 skids to attach to. So right now I need to dig down enough so that I can get my drill in there to drill those holes, because right now I just don't have room to operate. So everything that I built out here is technically temporary, and it's technically movable. And you know, that's kind of one thing that the sassy zoning administrator, you know, called me out on. I was like, it's not even a permanent structure. It's not bolted down to a permanent foundation. It's built on skids. It's temporary. It shouldn't count because it can be hauled away. And she's like, well, if it's temporary and it can be hauled away, then haul it away. It hit me like a brick. You know what she ended up saying? She said, the way that they've worded it now is that that doesn't matter. And she actually forwarded me the lingo where it says on a permanent foundation or not, it still counts as an accessory structure. The only thing that counts as temporary or movable is something that has wheels under it and a hitch. If you can't back a truck up to it, hook up and drive away, it is not classified as temporary. So. So now I just happen to have this jug of tung oil, and I'm just slathering it on the inside of that hole so I can get the hole lubed up to receive this large rod. Anyway, I'm thinking that, you know, because these are 6 inches thick and that bar has next to no flexibility, and I drilled 1-inch holes for a 1-inch bar because I want it to fit tight, that I'm going to need some lubrication. Couldn't hurt, right? I also beveled the ends of that rod on the grinder, so hopefully that helps. You know, it won't have sharp edges to catch. Okay, I got a little bit of resistance right off the bat. Hopefully that's not an ominous foreshadow. Oh yeah, it's cruising now. It broke through whatever. Oh yeah, look at that. I can almost slide it through, but not quite. Oh yeah, there it went. Oh boy, it's tight. That's what I wanted, and now I'm paying the price for it. Oh, I got it started in the second hole. All right, I'm meeting some pretty good resistance there. Yep, I'm right in between the 4 boards, and I'm just catching the lip of it. Wow, okay, that's more encouragement than I wanted to give it. 2x4 down. I don't want to go metal to metal because I don't want to mushroom the end of the steel over. It's got to fit in there all the way flush. Oh yeah. Let's hold this thought. I might have a sledgehammer somewhere on the property. I'll be right back. Okay. We've moved on to plan B. Wow, that's taking more force than I wanted to, and it's very loud. My fear is that I'm gonna get this all the way to that third skid, and it's not gonna be lined up with that hole. And I don't really have a plan C. I'm on plan B right now. I am close. Looks like it's coming in a little high. Yeah, that tapered end. The tapered end is just catching the hole. And it stopped. Okay. Oh, you dirty dog. Oh my gosh, you wouldn't believe this. I bet you would believe this. I'm plowing a screw through this skid. You ever seen that before? How close am I? Can you see me at the edge yet? Damn, that thing is in there tight. I want to get that out though. Come on. Come on, be nice to me. Woo! Is that it? That last little pop? Is that flushed out? A little shy? Okay, I got a little more I can go over there. I just didn't want to get carried away. That was solid. That's flush. Tell me something good. Oh my gosh. Woo! Let me test fit this strap. I got this strap originally for lifting the sawmill head. It claims that it's a 30,000 pound rating, which I think it sounds crazy for something I got off Amazon. There's one. And we'll go around the front. There it is. That's what I'm talking about. Throw a J-hook on that, Mr. Tow Truck. Wouldn't it be something if I could just drag this home? Ugh. Where's 300 Amish people when you need them? You know what I mean? That's the best I have to offer. What a powerful sight that is for me to see. I put so many hours into creating this little structure in this spot, and to see it absent, it just kind of blows my mind. I yanked this baby right off the little footers. That dump truck made light work of it, and it didn't seem to take any damage, so that's encouraging. If we look at the runners, they're still there. I was curious if that GRK structural screw was gonna hang in there, and it did. It didn't snap. I was also nervous that my hook point was gonna blow out, but it did not. It didn't seem to splinter or anything. It just did exactly what it was supposed to do. And then I have this one. It's just a recovery tow strap. I think it's rated for 20,000 pounds, it says. I don't know, but I just tossed it in the pintle hitch and locked it, and I idled forward in low gear. You know, I'm half tempted to just drag this baby down the road in the middle of the night, you know, come out here at, I don't know, 3 a.m. and hook onto it and just idle my way up the shoreline 2.5 miles. I don't know. I'm saving that as a reserve. Boy, it's hot and muggy out today. I had to sit down for a break, but it feels good to have drug that shed off its footers. I mean, it doesn't really feel good, but it's nice to know that I was able to hook onto it with the big truck and pull it forward. I'm confident that I can get it on a trailer or truck to haul it away. I guess that leads me to my next thought, is now it needs a place to go. So I suppose the next step should be for me to get over to the other property, get the machine over there, and cut in a new grade, put a new leg off that gravel driveway that I made in a previous video, and then get some kind of a gravel pad at the end of it. I guess I need to just get myself a drink of water and get over there and start grading. That's all there is to it. I'll meet you over there. Well, I do have a interesting development to share. After talking to a local tow truck company, I believe the shed is too tall to go down the road legally. It's 12'8" from the peak of the roof to the bottom of the skids, and the roll top flatbed that I was thinking about using sits 4 feet off the ground. So, you know, that makes it 16'8" in total. And they're not allowed to legally haul anything over 14 feet, just so, you know, they don't catch any low wires. So that's unfortunate. I guess the alternative is to get like a lowboy trailer, or to haul it on a trailer from work myself. And it might be something that I actually do take on myself. I might have to bring my machine home and just push it right on the trailer that I haul that with and buzz it down the road early in the morning. It's only about 3 miles, 2.5, so it's not the end of the world, but we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah!
Well, I'm gonna say that went about as well as it could have went. I'm not gonna lie, I felt pretty funny this morning. You know, the anxiety was hitting my stomach thinking about this. You know, what if it doesn't work? What am I gonna do? But luckily I didn't have to worry about that. I got it where I want it, over the axles but forward, so I've got most of the weight on the tongue. It's about split. You know, that's the center of the door there coming down over the front of the tire, just behind the rear axle there. I'm happy with that. So I've got tongue weight. You can tell because it tilted forward. That's about where I load my machine anyway. I did lose one snowboard, but you know, there's casualties in every war. Where it got caught was right here. It caught this point, and you can see it grabbed right there, deformed it, and just pulled that screw head right through. I didn't lose the other one, so that's cool, but because of it, you can see that this skid, it took more damage. I lost wood, you know, I'm dragging right on the wood over this stuff, and you can see I hit a shave point right here. These are where the wheels of my machine sit, and they've got these I guess we'll call them flanges welded over the top to hold them in place, and you can see that that was just peeling up those wood shavings. So you know, I'm probably 1/8 of an inch lower in this corner, but it is what it is. I'm not going to complain about it. The only thing I need to deal with right now is the fact that I'm a little off center. I'm overhanging the trailer on the right in the rear corner. So I'll hook onto these D-rings that I used, or that I was going to use, just to chain it down, and I'm going to see if I can tug it over with the bucket of the machine. That wasn't my finest work, but it's on there. Well, there we have it. I've got the shed moved back, I got the quad port moved back, and I got my little side hill storage destroyed. I'm a little burned out on the process. I don't know if it looked like a lot of work, but it was a lot of work. And it was one of those projects, you know, getting all this stuff off the property that was just about as mentally exhausting as physically exhausting. Come here. I'm just happy that it's done. And it's, you know, not the end of the world that the shed and the quad port and eventually the sawmill will be here. The sawmill is going to be a separate video because I am going to do what it takes to work through that pile of logs. I got these things off the property within that time window that they gave me, so I'm going to take full advantage of that, and I'm going to mill up as many boards as I can off that pile, because it's going to be a lot easier for me to bring home boards than it is going to be to bring home entire logs. And then I can get some proper footers for this thing on the other side of it. If you notice, there's a gap between the quad port and the shed. That's the space where the shed's actually going to be. I'm going to get some footers poured there, and then I'll drag the shed up onto it. And then once this is in place, then I'll bring the quad port up to it. And there's also some damage that it sustained. My siding over here is a little floppy. It caught the trailer ramp when it was coming off the trailer. I don't know if you saw that. On the back side where those orange straps were like pushing up on the bottom of the siding as I pulled it off the trailer, busted that bottom row of siding over there. I have extras. It's not the end of the world. I'll get those fixed. And my quad port took some damage when it rolled on the forks. I thought about leaving that out of the video, but you know what? I'm an honest man and I make mistakes, plenty of them. So I left that in there for your entertainment. Nothing broke that I'm not able to fix, so it's okay. It's done. On to the next one, and that next video will be a sawmill video, which you've been waiting for, I'm sure. So I'll catch you on that one. Thanks for watching.